What the feds just uncovered in Floyd Mayweather's house is terrifying. They're going after Floyd Mayweather's bag. Remember the brother that walked around with $100 million check in his bag, said he ain't even got to cash it? Well, they on his line.
I think he got to right now because the money gone. So the money...
A shocking new report claims the FBI has uncovered a massive $420 million operation allegedly tied to Floyd Mayweather Jr. According to these reports, authorities searched his Las Vegas residence and reportedly found signs pointing to large-scale financial irregularities, questionable investments, and suspicious offshore holdings. These revelations have sparked serious concerns about the true foundation of the retired champion's luxury empire. The story gained even more traction when ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith delivered a raw and emotional reaction that echo what many were already thinking.
They call this the $1 million garage.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, we are on ESPN. These are sports cars. It's a sports network. This car costs $3.2 million. This Bugatti right here costs $1.6 million. You ain't seen these toys.
I haven't seen these?
No.
What? Floyd, this is 7 cars, man. Silver, platinum, Miami, black LA, white Vegas.
Yeah, in New York, I got...
Federal officials are reportedly said to have carried out a raid on Mayweather's high-end Las Vegas mansion, a move that quickly dominated headlines. Early reports suggested the operation was tied to a broader investigation involving complex financial networks, including shell corporations, cryptocurrency laundering, and alleged fraudulent investment schemes connected to individuals within Mayweather's circle.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So check it out. This morning, I was walking through Beverly Hills, and I passed by Floyd Mayweather's $30 million mansion. It's over 15,000 square feet with 6 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, resort-style backyard.
Sources familiar with the situation claim investigators seized a wide range of materials, electronic devices, detailed financial documents, offshore account records, and even encrypted data logs. The total amount under scrutiny is believed to approach $420 million, all allegedly linked to potential financial misconduct.
So, showing people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings. It's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong.
For years, Mayweather has publicly displayed his extravagant money team, lifestyle private jets, luxury cars like Pegattis, diamond-studded jewelry, and stacks of cash. Now, authorities reportedly suspect that portions of this wealth may not have come from legitimate source. As even more troubling are claims that certain records suggest he may have knowingly backed high-risk ventures or acted as a public face for operations that allegedly scammed thousands of people, especially internationally.
$1.8 million.
$1.8 million watch.
$1.8 million, dude?
You're the first to see it.
That's insane. That
1.8 is high. 18 life.
That happy birthday, champ.
That's how we doing.
That is sick, dude.
But you gotta show him what he say,
Money green.
No,
Hold on. This watch was made specifically for the champ, Floyd Money Mayweather. 101 piece. What's it called?
One of one.
Money team.
Can we see it on him?
Yes, sir.
That one of one.
$1.8 million.
It's a one of one. I love that.
Stephen Smith has personally witnessed Mayweather's over-the-top lifestyle from his mansion to his fleet of luxury vehicles and private aircraft. He also understands the level of financial success Mayweather achieved through his boxing career, having seen those results up close. Smith brings a unique perspective when discussing the empire Floyd built and the decisions that shaped it.
Was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much. And literally walked in the ring and said, I'm going to embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
Smith's reaction carries added credibility because of his firsthand exposure to Mayweather's world. In past interviews and podcast appearances, he described Floyd's home as a powerful symbol of success, proof of what talent, discipline, and branding can accomplish.
Talk to me about why you make the decision to drive different colored cars in respective cities.
Spoiled brat.
Oh, just being a brat?
Just being a brat.
The 7 cars that you showed me
Yes.
are in excess of $15 to $20 million.
Let me see what's the number. We go 3 1.
And you don't drive them.
It's close to 15 million. You're right.
However, things began to shift when Mayweather entered the exhibition boxing scene. After officially retiring, he returned to the ring not necessarily to enhance his legacy, but seemingly to continue generating income. His bout with Logan Paul is often highlighted as a key example. Smith criticized the matchup, arguing it lacked real competitive substance. Paul, originally a YouTuber, was never viewed as a serious threat, making the fight appear more about financial gain than sporting greatness.
The greatest boxer in history. He's absolutely sensational. But he retired years ago. And for me personally, I know these exhibition matches are entertaining. I like the one with Conor McGregor. Not so much the one with Logan Paul. Looking at these exhibitions and all of that stuff, that little melee and stuff don't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, it could have potentially been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely.
When Mayweather was questioned about Logan Paul's claim that he hadn't been fully paid, he brushed it off during a podcast appearance. He suggested that payment delays can happen and downplayed the issue, saying money doesn't always arrive immediately. Still, many listeners felt his response avoided directly addressing whether any money was actually owed.
Oh, you say you owe him some bread. How you feel about someone making those type of accusations?
That comes with the territory, man. And you got to realize, when you used to getting, to them, that's real money. And I like YouTube because I don't mind getting a YouTube check.
Sure, we getting a YouTube check.
Right.
This is going to be a big YouTube check.
Yeah, so, the money is not coming fast enough. That's why when they say money on the back end, as far as pay-per-view, it take a while, And he shouldn't trip. If he feel like he done great numbers and we done record-breaking numbers, then I understand. Nothing comes right away. Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 or 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves and I'm my own boss. So they hate when a table is turned.
Right.
Look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the table is turned, they say, oh, you owe us something. Be happy with the biggest payday.
Recent investigations have also raised doubts about Mayweather's claim of owning a $40 million real estate portfolio consisting of 60 apartment buildings in Manhattan. While he has publicly insisted that he fully owns these properties, reports reviewing official records suggest the situation may not be so clear-cut. In one video, Mayweather stated that he had no partners and full ownership, but documented records appear to tell a different story.
Well, now we're trying to figure out what happened, right, with Business Insider. So according to another update, he did ink a $402 million deal for a Black Spruce portfolio. When he said that it was all his and no one invested, he meant no one was funding his part of the investment but him. And so I think this is something where maybe he owns a piece of this or shares in it, but it hasn't changed hands because the majority owner is still the same owner that it was before. I'm trying to understand what happened with this, but I know there's a story that's circulating, so just putting it out there. Whew, it's a tough one. I'm trying to understand as a real estate person myself, what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't, but what it seems like is that he owns shares.
Mayweather later responded to speculation that this real estate deal may have caused financial Strahan, he firmly denied any issues, stating that he personally funded the entire purchase without outside involvement.
Floyd Mayweather has reportedly acquired 62 buildings in Upper Manhattan, spending approximately $402 million. This substantial investment was made through his real estate firm, Vada Properties, and is intended to expand his portfolio in New York City real estate market. Mayweather has expressed that this purchase holds significant personal meaning, reflecting his humble beginnings and desire to provide affordable housing options. He stated, growing up, I used to dream about owning just one home by myself. When you work hard, you can achieve anything. However, it's important to note that while Mayweather has announced this acquisition, some reports suggest that property records do not yet confirm a transfer of ownership. Experts speculate that he may have acquired a minority stake with options for future expansion rather than full ownership of all 62 buildings outright. In summary, Floyd Mayweather has publicly claimed to purchase 62 buildings in Upper Manhattan for $402 million, aiming to enhance affordable housing in the area. While these claims have been widely reported, the exact details and confirmation of ownership are still subject to verification. So even ChatGPT is saying, like, that's not official. Whether Mayweather is saying it or not, ChatGPT is saying it's not official. That deal has not gone through.
However, property data examined by Business Insider indicates that ownership of those buildings hasn't officially transferred, implying he may hold only a partial stake, possibly with options to expand later. This mismatch between his statements and documented records has raised questions about whether the full truth has been disclosed. Despite all this, Mayweather remains one of the highest-earning fighters in history, building his fortune through an undefeated career and strong self-promotion.
Up until recently didn't have any money, so Floyd is the highest-earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like in
third, having any real kind of boxing background. I did not see the fight, although I heard he lost every round and Floyd Money Mayweather was whipping him pretty good. I was not there. I did not see it. I do not know. Here's what I do know, which is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. John Gotti III, I don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to disrespect him. And yes, I'm being smart. I'm not trying to disrespect the grandson of a mobster. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street, anything like that. Boxing is your thing.
Stephen A. Smith has repeatedly expressed concern about Mayweather's post-retirement exhibition fights. While he acknowledged the bout with Conor McGregor made sense due to McGregor's combat background, he has been openly critical of fights against less qualified opponents. He believes these matchups, driven largely by money, risk damaging Mayweather's legacy.
You made money. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is I made smart investments. And I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
Well, we ain't going to say more than money. We know better. We're not going to say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs. They are bosses. I don't want my kids to have to answer to nobody. So I will take the long road. I will take the bumps and the bruises for them, but for my loved ones.
But fear, it's important to point this out about you. You're not just that way when it comes to your family and your children. You're that way with professional athletes. I know NBA players that have relationships with you, professional football players that have relationships with you, etc. And the same thing that you just said that you preach to your children and your family, you've been preaching to them. That seems to be a personal mission of yours. Why?
It's about giving back. You know, I don't have to go on record and talk about the things that I do.
In one honest exchange, Smith directly asked Mayweather whether he values his legacy more than financial gain. Mayweather's answers, which emphasized his business mindset and earning power, left many with the impression that his priorities have shifted toward money over legacy.
No, Floyd's not going to do MMA, but he is going to box again. He's enjoying this attention. It's been very smart what he did. I think it surprised him. I think he was just going out to have a little bit of fun. I don't think he realized he could get 4 and 5 weeks of headlines out of this, but he does need to box again, for sure. I mean, you call it breaking news, but I will tell you unequivocally right now, Floyd Mayweather does and is planning to box one more time.
And the motivation behind getting into a ring again to box when he said he's retired, why? Why do it?
Floyd's broke. You got to understand, the only thing more embellished than Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view numbers is Floyd Mayweather's net worth, and he made a lot of money. But remember this, it does not matter what you made, it matters what you kept, and he is a dum-dum.
So anyone, Floyd's made $1 billion. Floyd has gotten $300 million for Pacquiao, $300 million for McGregor. That might be true, but that money does not exist anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Mike Tyson, he did real well too. Evander Holyfield, again, it's not what you made. And don't forget, boxing and MMA math, whatever that number is, you get 30% of. So 30% of $1 billion, he still did really well, but not when you're spending money like that. I mean, that's just the way it works. We've seen a progression of these guys, one after the next, that all end up the same way. And that's broke, and they're just not smart with their money. And, I mean, that's all it comes down to. I'm not even trying to bag on Floyd. Look, he's just not a very bright guy. He's surrounded with even less bright guys. This is the way it works. When you're a boxer and you go spend that kind of money, if you ever buy things that cost money to own, you're going to...
During another interview with Smith, Mayweather acknowledged earning over $800 million throughout his career. However, he made it clear that his main focus has always been on building and maintaining his wealth, reinforcing his well-known money persona.
I've already, in the sport of boxing, I've already made somewhere upwards of $800 million.
You made money. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is I made smart investments, and I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
Well, we ain't gonna say more than money. We know better. We're not gonna say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs.
Adding another layer to the discussion, former UFC fighter Chael Sonnen offered a controversial perspective on the Mayweather vs. McGregor fight. He claimed the event may not have been as financially successful as it appeared, alleging that empty seats were filled to create the illusion of a sold-out arena, having attended the event. He criticized what he described as a carefully crafted image presented by Mayweather's promotional team.